One quick question then in terms of revenue and the like. $9.1 billion in tax revenues. That's what we're supposed to take in this month. Are we going to get that money?
We'll find out. It wouldn't surprise me if we need a little more than we were hoping for.
But then what good are these projections? How can we vote on something when we don't even know what it ultimately is going to cost?
I'm sorry, we don't live in a world of certitude. The economy, Greenspan, 3 months before the mortgage meltdown, was talking about how, I think it'll be okay. Well, he didn't know, and he was called an oracle. The fact is, the economy is unpredictable, but we do know within certain range. We're trying to be as prudent as we can, and that's why the legislature has to man up, make the cuts, and get some taxes, and we'll make it. The Democrats gave me the votes last year, but I couldn't get 2 Republicans in the Senate and 2 in the Assembly, which would have added up to 2/3. I took them to dinner. I had them at my loft. I bought nice wine for them. I went to their house. They just couldn't. For a Republican today to vote for any tax on the people would be like Pope Benedict approving birth control and women priests.
All right.
I mean, it's doctrinal. It just goes deeply to their current belief system. Although Ronald Reagan increased the income tax, the corporate tax, and the sales tax significantly, today that's the current thing. Next year, I don't know how they'll think. And then we need pension reform. You put it all together, then we got a program.
The pension reform is what gets people the most, though, because we're at a point now where we're going to wind up, San Jose is almost at that point where you're actually paying out more in pensions than you are actually paying people to do jobs. How do we get out of that rut?
Well, we're getting out of it because, first of all, most of the pension costs are locally. 80% of a local budget, 80% goes to payroll. At the state level, it's more like 15 or 20 because we take a lot of our tax money and we send it to schools and local government. So we don't have as much payroll. But pensions are still a problem. And I have a proposal for state employees. And more importantly, we want to do something about local employees. But the good news is that local government is actually doing something. And you have cities and counties all over the state that are doing various things. And I have to say to the unions that you ought to look at my pension plan because what is going on elsewhere, San Diego, San Jose, they're going to reform the pensions no matter what we do in the state, because they're going to do it by popular vote. And so I think it's very important that people in Sacramento join together and embrace the pension plan that I've laid out.
Calling from Seaside, good morning.
Good morning, Ron, and thank you for letting me speak to Governor Brown. My question is this. Senate Bill 810, which provides, I think, single-pay or universal care for all Californians, how close are we to that, and what can the governor do to get us over the top and let us get that bill?
Well, here's the problem with single-payer. It might make some sense down the road. That's something that is so complicated I'm not going to opine on. I will tell you this, though. If you're talking about getting rid of the insurance companies, yes, you save some profit, but then you have to run it by some state agency. And now all the premiums you pay for insurance are going to go through the tax system. Medical costs are something hundreds of billions of dollars. And if you're going to put that on the tax bill, people are not going to take that too kindly. So the first question is, how in the world could you ever convert the system, which has massive problems, and put it all into kind of like the motor vehicle department, put it on your income tax or your some other sales tax? There's formidable problems. And then, of course, this system, there's plenty of problems with it. There's a lot of waste. There's massive sums going into the medical industry. We need to clean it up. But I think just saying single payer is a little on the simple side and doesn't respond to the complexities the political power, the resistance to more government that are the realities of the state.
Latest developments, high-speed rail. What's the problem?
Well, the problem is the same thing with building the Golden Gate Bridge or the Central Valley Water Project or the Transcontinental Railroad or the Panama Canal. It takes a big mind, it takes some guts, and it takes a long time. If you look back to the Middle Ages, they built these great cathedrals. They take 100, 150 years, and people spent their lives, generations, but they saw something bigger than their immediate gratification.
But why is it increasingly getting negative vibes? I mean, the polls going more and more against it. I know you're for it, but
because we're kind of pulling back. I mean, the day of filling out the prairie and the moving west young man and all that, we're getting to that kind of mature stage where we don't have quite the same buoyancy and a pioneering spirit. Look, my great-grandfather came out here in 1862. He drove the stagecoach from what they call Hangtown, now Placerville, to Sacramento, went up to near Colusa and Williams, started a ranch, still in the family. I feel that pioneering spirit. My father built the water plant, at that time the greatest water project in the world, freeways, 3 new universities. I think this is part of the pioneering spirit of California. Yes, it's going to cost some money, but it's going to last for 100 years, 150 years. And if you try to build to cover for the extra 20 million people that everybody says is coming, and you try to build more freeway, you try to expand it, you try to build more runways, more airports, that is going to be more expensive. It's going to have more political resistance. So this is a very heavy lift, but it will speed up the travel. It'll make the Central Valley a whole new kind of place to live. It'll put Bakersfield right next to Los Angeles, less than an hour commute. It'll put Fresno, Merced. Now we got a university.
But
Gateway.
Jerry, let's talk practical stuff. I mean, your family didn't have to deal with the Tea Party, and you're talking about a project that's supposed to cost like $68 billion.
They didn't have to pay income taxes either.
And they didn't even have to be Indians to do that. No, but I mean, $68 billion with the problems we have in the state, and we started the whole thing off with the tax initiative.
Yeah.
I mean, how do we get $68 billion?
Well, first of all, let's get the thing from Merced to the San Fernando Valley, because that'll be an operating system. We can get capital from private business as they have in Europe. Once we get the thing up and running, at least that leg of it, we have $3 billion of the feds that hopefully will start it. We have $9 billion in a bond. We have something called cap and trade, which is going to provide a more efficient way for companies to reduce their carbon footprint, and that will bring in it will bring in at least $1 billion a year going forward that could provide the basis over the next 10 to 15 years to close the gap between what we have in hand and what we need. And there's other sources of financing. And I don't think America doesn't have the same wherewithal as Spain or China or Japan or France or Germany. All of them have high-speed rail. They all work. It's part of the future. Let's get with it.
Then why is it the January report from the state auditors said the proposed bullet train is, quote, increasingly risky and doesn't even have anywhere near the oversight it needs?
Well, it's got a lot more oversight now because it was also in a mess when I came in. I put a new chairman in there. We got Mike Rossi, who's a business guy. It's a hell of a lot better. We've cut $30 billion off the cost. We're now, instead of trying to run a high-speed rail from San Francisco down to San Jose, we're going to electrify and upgrade Caltrain. We're going to do the same thing in Los Angeles with Metro. So we're going to work with the local train systems, and then we're going to connect them through the Central Valley. That's where the growth is, and it will really continue California's role as the pace setter.
All right.